Welcome to Din's Talk, the space where soul wisdom meets bold action. I'm Mia Dins, your host, here to ignite your fire, help you claim your power, and guide you to take unstoppable steps towards your dream. Every episode is designed to awaken your purpose, fuel your passion, and spark transformation in your life. It's time to step into your truth and never stop. Let's dive in.
Hello, beautiful souls. Welcome back to another episode on Din's Talk. Let's talk soul. And today I have another powerful, beautiful, special guest with me. And I'm so excited for this conversation. I know I always say that, but this is the truth. And this one is going to go really, really deep. I'm so honored. We have Ania Halama. She is a holistic mentor, plant medicine facilitator, integration guide, and visionary entrepreneur who bridges ancient wisdom with modern tools to help individuals reclaim their power, purpose, and peace. After leaving a successful but soul-draining corporate career, she embarked on a transformational path of healing and self-discovery, and now guides others to do the same. Certified in EFT, breathwork, Ho'oponopono, Akashic records, and other modalities. Ania helps clients rewire subconscious patterns, release emotional blocks, and align with their highest potential. Her work supports deep transformation in every area of life: health, wealth, love, leadership, and spiritual fulfillment. We love that. A two-time best-selling author and co-founder of Mahadevi Ayahuasca, Ania offers powerful one-on-one mentorship, immersive retreats, and speaking engagements. Her mission is to help high-achieving, heart-centered individuals break free from internal limitations and live in harmony with their soul's purpose. Wow. Welcome. Welcome, Ania. I'm so excited. I know there's so much to talk about. I love all of it, but thank you for being here and sharing the space with that. So yeah, feel free to say hello and say something about yourself.
Thank you so much for having me. I'm excited to be here.
Amazing. So, I mean, this is like your bio is like very broad. And of course, it didn't happen overnight. And you're currently in Colombia, right?
Yes, I'm living in Medellin, Colombia at the moment. But I'm moving to the jungle in a couple of weeks. So that'll be a whole transition in itself.
Yeah, we just talked about that because you're going to do a lot of retreats, holding a lot of retreats in the jungle, which we will be talking about. But let's go back. Obviously, your journey didn't start there. So you grew up in America. Yeah. What was that like?
Yeah. I was born in Poland, grew up in Chicago, and the rat race city, like the hustle and bustle of a big city, a big metropolitan area. And my life was a little bit different. So we were immigrants to the US. I was first born in Poland. I came to the US when I was very young. And like I was learning Polish and English at the same time pretty much. So my parents, like to this day, my dad speaks no English. Like we've been in America for 30 something years. He doesn't speak any English. My mom does, but I had to translate a lot of things. Like they were middle class people working in factories, and like watching them grow up, like I thought it was so beautiful because like I always thought that I got my like sense of travel and like exploration from my parents, because they, like my mom was 19 when she had me, very young. At 22, she left her home country with her husband, with a little child. And she's like, I'm going to go to this new country where I don't know the language, don't know anything, don't know anyone. Like, I was like, okay, that is admirable, easy. But my life took a little bit of a turn when I was around 10 years old. My dad was in a work accident, and which left him handicapped. So I had to go to all the doctor's offices, legal offices, attorneys, be learning words no 10-year-old should have ever learned. And I had to grow up very quickly because of that, which caused me to have so much trauma, just a resentment a little bit for my father, because I felt like my childhood was really robbed from me, but like they were doing the best that they could have at the moment. And I had to like take care of my family at that point because one of our incomes got completely taken away from us. So I graduated high school very early, graduated university at 19, started working in the corporate America when I was 17 years old and making a lot of money to like help my family because we didn't have another income. So I had to grow up very quickly. And because of that, I was making so much money at 19 years old. No 19-year-old should make that much money. I spent it on partying and drugs and fancy Louis Vuitton purses and like fancy Audi cars, like all the things that no 19-year-old should have, really. But because of like the burdens of life and like stuff with my parents, stuff with my father, and then just a stressful corporate environment, like I had a lot of trauma. And for an entire decade, until I was about like 27 years old, I was very, very sick. Anxiety, depression, insomnia, horrible IBS. I was allergic to almost every food. I was going blind. Doctors couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. Just like one thing on top of another. And it came to a point where I was like, I don't have my health. If I don't have my health, I don't have anything else. I was kind of sick and tired of being sick and tired at that point. And I was going to doctors on doctors and seeing so many specialists, and nothing was getting to the root cause of what was really wrong with me. So one day I just woke up. I'm like, you know what? I'm going to buy a one-way ticket and like sell my car, sell my apartment, like put everything in storage. And I went to Thailand. And that's kind of where my spiritual journey started. I started meditating more. I started going to yoga classes more often, doing breath work. Like life in Thailand is a lot more inexpensive than it is in Chicago. So I had a lot more play money as well. Plus, I was in sunshine. I was eating whole, real foods. It was very different. Again, going back to like my parents leaving their own home country, I did the same exact thing. But I really wanted to get as far away from my family and the toxic environment as possible. But that's kind of what started like opening up like my energetic field and my spirituality in general. Once on that path, I felt like it was instant. It really wasn't, but being sick for an entire decade, like a couple of months or a year of me getting healthy, like it felt like it was instantaneous. And one thing led to another, and psychedelics started coming into play, and plant medicine started calling me. And I was working my way to South America. I was like, okay, if plant medicine finds me, like this is what I'm supposed to do. And my first week in Colombia, I was invited into an ayahuasca ceremony, and I went, and that completely changed the trajectory of my life and what I'm doing now. And I've been working with the medicine for almost a decade now. And my partner and I do have an ayahuasca center, but that's kind of what got me to this place.
Thank you for sharing this. I love that was a whole beautiful journey you took us through. I was feeling I was part of it. So amazing. I mean, there's so much to that, and to the outside. Possibly when you were so young, people would have been like, far out. She's so successful. She has everything, everything, everything. And I just recently talked about that, posted about it. Like you internally so disconnected from yourself. And that's when basically your body started, our soul talked through our body. That's how I always put it. And so it gave you all the signs. They were very subtle, probably first with maybe tiredness, not feeling aligned, probably not wanting to go to the job. And then of course we are so conditioned to overfunction and to push through. You go on and on and on and on. And then your body started to scream, right? And wow, and a decade, but still a lot of stamina there to push through a decade of being sick, right? Hey, isn't it? Like,
Absolutely. I mean, like I didn't know any better. Like around me, like that was so normal for so many people to be tired, to be stressed, to be anxious. Like I didn't know any better. Like I was 22, 24 years old. Like I had no idea, but it was all stress. When I got myself out of the stressful environment, like so many things started aligning for me, and like I started healing right away. And again, it felt like it was instant, but it wasn't. I know it wasn't. It was like a year, maybe even longer, but it was so long that I was so sick, but I didn't know any better. You don't know what you don't know.
exactly. And even it's not just back then and you, because you were young, it's even now. And still the system is like that. It applauds people. And especially I'm talking also women like who can push through, who can handle a lot, or write their own cycles. And I have been there, right? And I'm still reconciling a lot of things, but really just push, 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 push. And yeah, you bright yourself like, yeah, I can handle so much, but you completely abandon yourself. And to what cost to your own health? And then people end up being sick. And yes, they develop cancer, all these things. And this is where it all comes from. I mean, of course, there's some illnesses that develop in different things, but in general, that's the lifestyle and all the energy. So when you started, like, I mean, I'm happy you're here now and you can share all your wisdom and you embody that fully and help so many beautiful souls who need you, who need your medicine. And when you embarked on a journey, right, you came to Thailand and you started to feel like, oh my gosh, Whole Foods and the sunshine. And of course you said felt like instantaneous, but I'm sure you went through different layers to unpack everything, to go deeper. So when we talk about, of course, there were things like you create a good routine for yourself, connecting with your body, with yourself, yourself and things like that. But what was coming up for you that you stored energetically deeply down on a cellular level? Like, did some stuff come up for you there too that was like really revealing?
So a lot of it came down to like me taking a real look at the stress and the trauma that I was really holding and like inside my body as well. Because like I practiced yoga before that. I worked out, but like I never had a meditation practice. I never like did the deep work. And once I did, like it's like a layer of an onion, a little by little, you're peeling and you're pulling back. And it took me years to fully unpack everything that happened to me, but little by little I did, but it was all stress related. Like realizing that it was stress and it's like, okay, this is why I left. I was actually stressed. I wasn't anxious. I wasn't depressed. I was just stressed. My body was going through stress and that's why I broke down.
Yeah, and that's good to know for people that it doesn't always have, when we talk about trauma or like, let's say, unprocessed emotions, unprocessed energy, which was all the stress. Your body is like just doing what it's designed to do. It just sponges it up. It's protecting you. It's keeping it there. And the body always remembers. It doesn't always have to be like, oh, I got, sexually abused and beaten up in that way. But trauma is like what we don't process, literally, actually what I figured out through my own journey based on my own experience and working with people. It's just everything we don't process, all the emotions, all the energies, and that just gets stored in the body. And if there's no outlet, it will just implode in the body and then disrupt the circuit and everything. And then whatever comes up will come up as an ailment or be not feeling well and things like that. So very, very powerful. What was the practices you started doing back then, and did you keep them? Did you keep some of the practices you do today? Something that you absolutely say, I'm going to do this every day in order to stay connected.
Honestly, I think it was meditation. Meditation, like I still have a daily meditation practice. It was like quieting the mind and getting into the body. Like the body keeps score, kind of what you were saying. And like processing all of those emotions, like not thinking about them, because that's what anxiety and depression is. You're thinking about the past or you're thinking about the future. When you get out of the past or the future and you're present in this moment through meditation into your body, breathing into those emotions of those feelings, those sensations that you have, like everything else goes away. And like meditation to me was like my saving grace, honestly. And to this day, I have like a very deep meditation practice that I'm just super grateful for.
And do you do that usually in the morning? Or like, I know always people want to know, how do you do meditation? How do you start? And how does your meditation practice look like? And I'm also having a personal interest here.
So honestly, it ebbs and flows. Like sometimes I'll go on a walking meditation. Sometimes I'll do a silent meditation. Sometimes I'll meditate for 4 hours. Sometimes I'll do like a 20-minute meditation, but I'm meditating no matter what. I'm a big fan of human design. It's actually in your human design of like what your consistency is, what your discipline is. It's the arrows in your human design. And for me, it's like, as long as I do it, it doesn't matter what time of day I'm doing it, but as long as I keep the practice, like I'm golden. So it doesn't matter what time. Usually I'll do it in the morning because like if I love my morning routine, absolutely love it. If I don't do my morning routine and I start working first thing, then I get sucked into my work and then I don't do anything other than work that entire day. So I love having my morning routine in the morning, my meditation, my workout, all the other things that I do. And then I start my work day. I don't start working until like noon pretty much, but I need that like sacred time for myself in the morning. And it's so good for my soul.
Beautiful you say that. And I feel that it's important for people to hear, because I always say that, look, you need to find a way that suits you, because we have different designs. Because I also love human design, by the way. We can actually jump into that maybe like a little bit of a, like, not because we are professionals, but more like from an experience, like, because it's about getting to know yourself, know thyself, right? Isn't it? Like with meditation, it's about
coming to the truth. Yeah.
It's all about that. Spend time with yourself, like getting to know yourself like you do with your soulmate, and you create your relationship, your partner. There's always something to know about yourself. Oh, how am I doing in that situation? What do I need? Most people don't know what they actually need. And when you don't know what you need, you cannot express it to anybody else. And then, of course, then all the things start to get out of balance. But really powerful what you said with like, there's different ways. I always say that too. You don't have to sit like the Buddha for 4 hours if that's not what you're meant to do. I had a friend, she said she needs to do a hit session in the morning because she has so much energy to move through, and then she can cry. I said, go for it, jump,
do it. Absolutely.
Shake yourself, whatever. For example, I this morning, I had I did shamanic practices this morning under the stars and, shaking off, did some burning as well, just because I felt this morning, this is what I needed to do because it needed to get out of my system. And then I was more quiet and do some breathing and whatnot. And it always looks different. I do have certain routines too, but it's not like, oh, at 7 I do this and at 8 I do this. I can't deal with that.
Hey, that works for some people, and that's amazing. But
I
figure
know.
out what works for you. Like, it's not a one size fits all. Like, spirituality isn't at all. Like, we're all different sizes, shapes, colors, all the things. Like, your practices can be that as well. It's just as long as you're going into that devotion, like, I am doing this for me. I am doing this for my relationship with God, with the spirits, with the shamanic things, whatever it is that you believe in, like that is devotion. That is the practice, but figure out what works for you.
Absolutely. I love what you just said about like you need your time in the morning. And I do need that too. I need at least a minimum of 2 hours, 3 hours just to practice. And then we haven't talked about my workout yet. But it's just like, and I used to think, oh my gosh, Mia, are you weird? And in my past relationship, that wasn't very well received because the partner wanted something different in the morning, doing things together. I cannot do that with my partner. I need my time. And it's just like, I know in society, like, when you see these pictures, oh, you cuddle in the morning, you do this. Yeah, this is all nice. But first thing, I need to connect with myself and spirit and God and to come back to my baseline. I'm not even doing anything extra. It's just my baseline to even function, to even be.
Non-negotiables. Absolutely. Absolutely. Jim Rohn said, like, work harder on yourself than you do on your business. And I 100% agree with that. Like those hours where I'm also going back to human design. I'm also a projector. So like, I need my time on myself, like my naps and my sacred time by myself. That is me working.
I love that. I was like wanting to ask what you are because my best friend, she's a projector. And so I was like, I can feel it. I'm the money gen. So yeah, lots of energy. But it's beautiful to know that what you need and to acknowledge that. And because most people think when I'm doing that, I don't fit and I'm weird or I'm weak. Let's talk about that. Taking rest and is equal to weakness, not pushing through, not forcing kind of thing. And I know it's a hard thing. There's beautiful, fine balance between the aligned action versus, pushing.
Laziness. Yeah. So for me, I really think like spirit talks to you in your path of least resistance. That goes into like flow state. So when we are in the flow, whether it's taking a nap, going on a walk, like in the shower, washing our hair, like not thinking about anything, just being in that flow state, in that receiving state. That's when like how many times have you been washing your hair in the shower and you get this awesome idea for some product or something and you're like, that's such a great idea. And then you sit on it, you don't do it. And then 2 months later, you like find this exact product you were thinking of because you didn't act on it. So like spirit gave it to someone else and they did act on it. But that's the flow state. So like taking a couple steps back, slowing down so you can speed back up. Because when you do get that idea, everything, consciousness is talking to you, spirit is talking to you, God's talking through you. And then like you're so much further ahead because you're in that flow state. And the ideas come, like the exact steps, the right people line up for you because you're in that flow, you're in receiving. And like sometimes slowing down is exactly what you need.
Beautiful. It's so timely you say that. And I actually got some goosebumps because I feel a lot of people are going through this right now. There was like this massive change in astrology anyway. Some, 3 of our personal planets change into slower, like into more, let's say, feminine grounding energies because we were so in fire. Aries, 7 planets in fire Aries. So I could feel it. I felt this big dip last week before because I always feel it a week before and it actually happened on Monday, Tuesday. But I was like, even when you practice, like people who embody it, I just want to tell people that it doesn't mean you don't feel those things or everything is like, everything is easy. No, it's more like you have the tools. It's like you prepared for the storm. You have the tools and you're like, okay, that's going to happen. And you just move through it with the consciousness, but nothing will ever take away what you need to experience as a human, whether it's the sadness, the pain, the challenge, the resistance, whatever it is. I think that's the most important part. And I said it actually yesterday to my my friend that you're doing the most spiritual thing you can do. You're just human right now. You're feeling, crying, releasing, sharing your frustration. That's the most spiritual thing we can ever do. What's your,
And we
what's your,
forget that sometimes. We absolutely forget it because we're like, oh, I need to do more. I need to meditate more. I need to journal more. I need to do all these things. Like, we need to feel as well. Like, we chose to be on this earth right now. And sometimes, like, we want to fly high all the time and like be woo woo, like spiritual la di da di in la la land. And that's great. It's fun. I love being up there. But I also chose to be human. Like, we need to be grounded, connected to the earth, like feel all the feelings, feel all the emotion. Because when we're overthinking, we're under feeling. Like, we need to absolutely feel.
I love that, what you just said. That was powerful. When we're overthinking, we're under feeling. Yeah, that's powerful. Yep, we need to, that's a one liner. We need to cut this out. It's a beautiful thing that this is what we all do. All right. That's what we all do. Like the mind takes over and it's literally like, and I don't know, you can maybe go more into that when you talk how you work with your clients or with your retreats, but it's what I experience based on my own experience. And when I work with people, when things are coming up, it's not always, not sometimes, yes, we'll be guided to, but it's not always about, you have to go into, this anger now is coming from my grandfather's seventh line and he did that in a past life and that's why I'm carrying, I'm exaggerating right now. You don't like, because people, so I think, not, I think the mind wants to always go into detail and untangle. And I need to know, I learned, thank God, through my journey. No, sometimes I feel anger. It's fucking moved this out of my body and I don't need to know why. Most of the time it's actually generational stuff or collective stuff that I picked up. And I don't need to go into detail. I have way too much things to do and I'm not interested. I just want to move it out of my body so it doesn't get stored. What's your experience with that? And how do you, when you work with clients or when you do your retreats, how do you approach that? Just to, yeah, because people are like, oh my gosh, especially at Keshe, because, oh, can we go into this past life? And I was a princess in, Egypt. It's all beautiful, I know, but yeah, let's bring it back here.
Very similarly to what you said, like if anything comes up for you, again, feel it in your body. Where do you feel it? Breathe into it and then move that energy, whether it's going for a workout, going for a walk, doing jumping jacks, like dancing around, whatever. Like, energy moves when you move. So move that energy and then come back to it and, okay, relook at that situation. Are you still feeling angry? If you are, go back to the movement. Like, breathe into that anger first. Where is it? Has it moved? Did it move from your chest to your throat, your left arm, right arm, whatever? And then again, shake it out, move it out. Like, we move energy through our own physical movements.
Yeah, powerful. That's why I move a lot, and I have my chart is full of fire, and I need to move a lot. And I used to think like, I mean, I've always been an athlete, of course. My natural, was drawing into that, which was great. But I used to think that I cannot sit still. And yes, I do. I don't like. I don't like to sit for long. Like, it's just who I am. And I thought, oh, am I too hibbly? Can I not do that? Because when somebody talks to me, I also absorb the energy and I'm like, okay, I need to move. Even if I just stand up and shake a little and
Yeah.
like a stretch, it's a natural thing. And I learned to accept that and to just be and to let people think I'm having ADHD, whatever they want to label that. But I just more like, I'm grounded.
You need to move. You need to move. Like, put on, like, every hour on your phone, put on a 5-minute alarm and like move that energy. Like, walk around your house. If you can't go outside, whatever it is, just to move that energy. It's so healthy for you. And then you go back into that flow state that we were talking about because you're out of your mind and in your body.
That's it. Always get out of the mind, come back into the body. Embodiment. That's why I love doing what I do. So talk about how do retreats look like with the ayahuasca and with the when you work with plant medicine, because I know you're doing a very specific plant medicine and how you learned it, and because I want you to share this sacred plant medicine and also to take away all these the popular ways and the mainstream ones, because you can also do it very, very wrong. Yeah.
Yeah. So ayahuasca, such a beautiful plant. Like, love it, love it, love it. So we actually work with both cooked medicine, cooked ayahuasca, as well as crudo, which is raw ayahuasca. So raw ayahuasca, it's obviously not cooked. It is the same 2 ingredients, just not cooked, added with water, and it preserves all of the alkaloids so much easier on the body. The purge is a lot easier. It's very beginner friendly. And then when you're ready to like meet the cooked medicine, you can, but you have that choice. Like it's totally up to you. We say the first, so we have 3 ceremonies with an optional 4th ceremony. We say the first ceremony is kind of just like a handshake with ayahuasca. Like you're meeting a friend for the first time. You like have that introduction. Like it doesn't have to be crazy deep. It's profound still either way, but it's just an introduction. The second ceremony, like that's your opportunity to go in deep. You can stick with the crudo, you can do cooked medicine. And then your final ceremony, it's like, okay, what have I learned? Let's integrate everything. Is there anything else that needs to come up that I need to know? And then we send you off on your way. We do several other things as well, other than the ayahuascas. We have 3 ceremonies with an optional 4th one. We do a rape ceremony. We do a purge with sangre de grado, which is dragon's blood. We do breath work. We actually just got breath work headphones today that I'm super excited about. We're going to use them for the next retreat. Very excited for that. We do a hike to the waterfalls. There's like these 8 waterfalls that we go through, and one of them you can actually, like a few of them you could jump off, and the last one you have to wear a harness because it's super steep, super beautiful. We do sharing circles, and then we have like about 30 days, 45 days of preparation beforehand, and then 3 months of integration afterwards as well. So it's like a several month journey, not just a week-long retreat. And the integration part is something that we're really proud of because I've sat in so many ceremonies, so many retreats where they just kind of like overpass the integration, but that's really when the ceremony starts, not during the actual ceremonies. And then we also have several retreats during the year. So this year it's our July, August, and September retreats where you can come along and make the medicine as well. Learn from the taita, supervise with the shaman. And like he'll do all the prayers, all the blessings and protections beforehand, and you can sit there and actually make the medicine. It's a really beautiful way to connect to it. Most people don't even know what the 2 plants look like, and they have an opportunity to actually make it.
Wow, sounds amazing. I would love to one day would love to join because I haven't had my ayahuasca experience yet, but she's calling. She's calling. And I would love to crudo, of course. Firstly, because I'm raw vegan, and it will be like a nice, gentle entry for me because I don't have anything. It will be beautiful to do that. And I really, really love the integration part. That is the work because I know that not just with the ayahuasca, but also in general with retreats, people like, oh yeah, I'm going on a week retreat, especially with the Bali, right? The Bali like vibes. And then they think, oh no, I have done this, but then they don't know what's going to happen afterwards. And nobody really talks about it. Not many people talk about it, Kat. Even the facilitators, they don't even create a container afterwards. It's like, wow. And
It's crazy to me. Like, so you go on this retreat, like you feel the best that you feel. So there's this thing called ayahuasca glow where you're just like glowing after you go to ceremony because you are like, you feel so good. You feel all enlightened. Like that was the best experience of my life. And then you go back home to New York, Australia, Bali, wherever you are, like the hustle and bustle. Someone's driving in a car. They flick you off. Then you get angry. And then all of a sudden you're like, crap, why can't I be that enlightened being I was a week ago? Then you go into shame and guilt into yourself, and like you undo your entire work that you just did at this retreat because there is no integration. The integration piece has been missing from, like, I've been working with the medicine for 10 years. So when I did my training, I met my partner at my training and I was getting initiated into a Peruvian tribe. I also work with the Inga and then the Kamsa here in Colombia. And 2 months I was sitting in medicine every other day, 28 ceremonies in 2 days. We had a 1 integration talk for 2 months of ceremonies. Like that is wild to me. Like I know people who have left that. Like I've been doing this work for a long time, but I've known people who left that. And my friends told me, they're like, the next 6 months were absolute hell for me because stuff like that happened. Like real life hit them and they didn't know how to deal with it. They had 0 support afterwards. So this is where we really hold you and like make sure like harm reduction is a big thing because a lot of people can go into psychosis afterwards. We have psychologists we work with. I'm currently going through a trauma-informed somatic practitioner program. That's a year-long program. So I can hold space better as well. We have psychologists we work with, doctors we work with, like we have several other integration coaches because I might not resonate with everyone. Sure, I'm at the retreat and the people will be familiar with me, but maybe someone needs actual professional like psychologist help at that point. I can't provide that. I can only provide what I can provide, but I'm not a therapist.
I love that. And I realize that with my own work too, even, like I can only give what I've, what I'm trained in based on my experiences and what I embody. But I am also not a therapist. And sometimes people just need that. We always need different things at different stages, wherever we are in our journey. And
No
that's
one
just,
size fits all, full circle.
that's it. And that's why it's beautiful. We have all these different tools and to go there. Because yeah, like sometimes when I do readings or I go deeply into cellular level and then we break open and there's like some trauma, most likely women come with me with sexual traumas, obviously, because something that I experience and with the womb space, the clearing. But sometimes the way I do it, it's not, they need something different first. They need like something more. I mean, my work is tangible too, but maybe something more structured in a way, like, like a therapist does it, more in a framework. And the work I do has its own framework. The framework is unfolding based on your soul guidance. That's just how it works. I work with that and how your nervous system is recalibrating. And so, yeah, it's really powerful. And not just, you talked about the one extreme of the having the clo, the ayahuasca clo, but some people even, and I'm not just talking about ayahuasca retreats, but any sort of retreat, you can open up and you can actually go in a really low, like you can go like, because all of a sudden, and people sometimes think, oh, this retreat was shit. It didn't work. As it's working, it is perfectly working for you. It's actually amazing, even though you feel crap, but it's amazing. And that is when the integration is needed, because those people would be like completely confused and be like, what is happening? And so I love that you guys build that and protect the people, because that's what really it means to take care of the people. The rest is just like, oh yeah, we get them into a retreat and do that and give them all the great experiences. But there's no real, the work goes really deep. So I think there are nuances. And yes, maybe people want to go to a retreat. Let's say Bali. I'm just saying Bali because that's the experience that I had. Just go have a bit of a water blessing, go and jump into a little bit of a waterfall, have some experiences here, some nice food and learn about the culture. That's different. But if you want to really go into deep transformation and you set that intention, then something like ayahuasca or deeper retreats will be for you. But then also knowing that there are times coming where you face your shadows. Let's talk about shadow work. I feel like this is something we don't really talk much about, and how important it actually is. And how did you start? Obviously, you faced your shadows in your life and you continue to do that. Otherwise, you wouldn't be able to hold that space. How do you do it? And what do you think is really important to actually that we don't forget? Because we can also go too shadowy, and then we get like swallowed by our own shadow, so to speak. I feel like this is sometimes also about the balance.
Yeah, I think balance is a great word for it. Whether it's like super shadowy or super like in the happy go lucky, love is everything, like there could be very two extremes of it. With any kind of healing, like, yeah, I'm still working with my shadows. Like, I'm human at the end of the day. Goodness gracious, I'm not perfect and stuff comes up every day. But working with it little by little, and like with that onion that we were talking about, like peeling it off little by little, like you don't have to go through the depths of hell the first time you touch your shadow. Like some people do, but it can be easier. Like you can just scratch the surface knowing what it is and like slowly opening up. You can ask spirit for it to be easy. We sometimes forget that. Like every time that someone comes to a retreat, like I tell them, like when they're putting their blessing into the ayahuasca, it's like ask ayahuasca to guide you with light and love and gentleness. Like even if it's hard, because it can be, let there be gentleness. Like we forget that as humans. Like it can be gentle. You don't have to be like bawling on the floor, like thinking you're dying every single time. Like as humans, we like to complicate things, but it doesn't have to be that complicated. Like little by little, and like spirit God is never going to give you anything that you can't handle, knowing that as well. Like if it's coming up, if that shadow is opening and you're touching that shadow, like it's time for you to dig a little bit deeper into it, but knowing that like you have the choice of how deep you really want to go with it.
Yeah, intention, always about intention. And it's true, like you said, like we can have a challenge. For example, you shared before, you have to challenge of finding a place and this talika now, the dog, but sharing that, finding that place for you guys to stay in the jungle or to live, basically. Yes, it is can be a challenge, but you can say, show me how we find the place with total ease and flow. For example, like you can ask for, let it be with ease. Doesn't mean it's not challenging, but it can be more like a flow. And I think it's powerful. I forget that also most of the time, when there are things happening.
We're human. We forget.
And then I have a beautiful reminder. I read something or I'm in a podcast here and I get reminders. So yeah, just set the intention, like let it come with ease and flow in a way, like let this be shown. Like just for in general, like because you are very much in tune, you're doing your practices. Like what happens? When do you know when you're off and out of alignment? What are the signs for you? Where can you feel it when you know that something is out of alignment?
I get triggered. Things go south. Things go wrong. Things go sideways. Things go wrong. Simple as that. When I'm in flow, everything beautifully aligns for me. It's like when you're driving it on your car and every single light is green and you're like, oh, I made it here in like no time. It was so beautiful. No traffic. I hit every green light. It was amazing. But when I'm off, it's like I trip and I fall and I break my tooth, or like I get a text message that I don't want to see, or something triggers me, or I see something on TV that I'm just like, oh, I'm so annoyed at this. Like if it's one, I was like, okay, I'm human. If it's a couple of them throughout the day, I'm like, okay, I need to get back in alignment. I need to meditate. Maybe I forgot to meditate that morning. Maybe I didn't do my workout. Maybe I need to shake. Maybe I need to stretch. I don't know. Just like moving again, going back to the, like what I was saying, those triggers and like where you're feeling them, breathing into them in your body and then moving that energy. And usually as soon as I like breathe into it and move that energy, like things come back into alignment for me.
Yeah, very
But it's
simple.
awareness. Like that's very, very hard to like start paying attention. Like if something goes wrong, like take a note in your phone and like write a triggers note. Like what did I get triggered at? What upset me today? And then like once you start noticing it, you'll be aware. You have that awareness that like, hey, okay, I know I'm out of alignment right now.
So for you, it's like that. For me, I feel it in the body right away. I feel things in the body. I'm just like an alchemist through the body. Like that's how my soul chose to incarnate. And that's where I know. And I used to, because, right, with all the, with being an athlete, constantly overriding things, I would completely ignore certain signs and would be like, nah, we just gotta perform. You just gotta push through. You just gotta do it. It's normal. Like you're tired. You're meant to do that. You're meant to be tired. You just had preparation for the fight. Da 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 da. And now when because like now I'm more connected, I'm like, wow. I get already like a day before signs of things, like really, they're very subtle and still easy to override. Like I'm still doing override and doing like, yeah, it's just a little bit of tightness here and there. And it's normal, right? The conditioning, everything. And there's lots of untangling to do. But so it's interesting, like we said at the beginning, for people to take their time to get to know themselves. You feel the triggers, like feeling like out of it, like, oh, that feels not like, why is it like bothering me so much? I feel it very much in the body. I'm just like, immediately my body is my GPS. And other people just like have other signs for them to feel like, oh, okay, that means like I'm out of alignment. The same thing in reverse we can do. Like obviously we are 24/7 manifestors. We manifest what we are, our energy we're vibrating on, right? We manifest everything. And a good exercise to do is, right, I don't know if you have done that before, but when things were really falling into place and you attracted everything, it's also good to reflect back, hey, what was I actually doing? What was I doing that this all happened? Have you experienced that yourself?
Yes. So I have a note on my phone that says cool shit that happened today.
Good.
And any of those fun things that happen, I write down like what the date is, what happened, and what I was doing. Like why did this come in for me? So I can track it as well.
Perfect. I love that. Because I had this yesterday because I used to track it as well, a little bit different, but I thought, and then I was like, okay, because I had a feeling like now things are a little bit out of alignment. And I was like, what? Okay, now we need to go back. What was happening when things were happening? Because like, obviously also we're shifting, like things we're changing, we're evolving. And we can only grow what we measure. And if we don't measure anything, we cannot grow. It's like the same with body measurements, the same with, like how do I feel? The same with manifestations, like what, the alignment thing, the energy. And that's why those things are good to note and done. Yeah. And nobody can do that work, but we have all these beautiful tools. You can do a voice message. You can do transcript.
So easy.
Because people are like, I don't like writing. I don't like journaling. I said, yeah, you speak. There's so many things you can do.
Do what works for you. Journaling, like writing on Post-it notes, like speaking into your phone, whatever, doing videos, whatever. Again, this entire episode, figure out what works for you. no right
Yeah.
or wrong way to do it. Just figure out what is the right thing for you. It might be completely different than Mia and myself, but figure out what it works.
Yeah, I think that's the headline. It's the headline of the episode. I never knew it was going there, but this is what needed to be heard because obviously we are guided. We are just a vessel right now to transmit that beautiful message for people to hear. And right now, what is your what if you would want to share, what is your challenge, your biggest challenge right now? Because I always like to share those things so people actually can feel and the realness of being human and still having all these beautiful tools available and you embody them. So what is really challenging for you at the moment?
So my biggest challenge right now is I'm moving to the jungle in 3 weeks and I have no idea where I'm going to be living. So I am going to the jungle next week to find a place to live. I have talked to my shaman. Maybe he has a couple places. I looked at a couple of Airbnbs, but I have no idea where I'm going to be living. I don't know what my Wi-Fi situation is going to be right, but I'm trusting, absolutely trusting that the perfect thing will show up, the perfect house, apartment, whatever it's going to be. Yeah, that's my only challenge at the moment.
And that, I mean, it's a big challenge. That's like a lot of people will be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, how do you do it? And how do you make sure what's a one simple practice or tip you can give to someone if they face the unknown? Because when we are facing the unknown, our brain goes bonkers and just, like scans for all the things that we are losing. It will never go into what we're actually gaining. Our soul will see the expansion of the unknown, but our brain is not designed that way. So what is one practice you do to keep you centered?
Again, overthinking is under feeling. So feel into it, close your eyes, breathe into it. If you have any fears around it, like breathe into those fears. Where are they sitting in your body? And like visualize what is this perfect house, this perfect partnership, this perfect relationship, job, whatever it is that you want. Like, what does that feel like? Not look like, because it can look like a million other things and God's got a better plan than you do. But what does it feel like? Like, do you want this big house? Do you want them to make you laugh? Do you want this job to pay X amount of money to be 10 minutes away from your house? Whatever it is, feel into what that feels like in your body and just breathe through it. And then if you need to move, move. And then the whole cycle begins again.
Love this. Yeah, it's perfect. It's just very human, right? It's nothing woo woo. It's nothing out there. It can be as simple as that. And then now everybody can see you're so passionate. You love your life. I can feel you are connected, right? That's you embody it and you live your purpose. And that doesn't mean there are no challenges or things are not coming up. But this is the shift from corporate America to being here now. What a big jump. And I'm sure you are so happy that you made that jump because now you can actually help other people and bring them back home to remember who and what they are and what they came here to do. So powerful, and the world needs you. So thank you for this. I know we probably could talk forever, but I will also finish with some lightning round questions. They are fun questions, and then of course,
Fun.
you there where people can find you as well. What would you do? What do you do when nobody's watching?
Sucker for some like horrible love reality TV shows. I am human. I am girly. I love. I'm a sucker for those.
Cool. Yeah, it's interesting. Who would have known that? And what is something people wouldn't know that's embarrassing that you haven't shared before? Something that you find embarrassing?
I won a hula hoop contest once. I'm really strangely good at hula hooping.
It's actually something to be proud of. I mean, who doesn't like hula hooping? But nobody knows it about you. Great. And that's beautiful. I love that. I love hula hooping. And if you would have a superpower, or if you could choose one, what would it be and why?
And absolutely 100%. I'm a travel girl at heart. Like if I can be anywhere at any time, ooh, so good.
Yeah, teleporting. I love that too. And if your life would have a theme song, what would it be?
So I actually listened to the song today. I played it with a client after a deep breathwork session. Like we just got up and danced and moved that energy. Paradise by Coldplay.
Yeah, I like this song. I love this song too. And just because my talk, my show is called Dins Talk, like my last name, Dins stands for Do It Never Stop. What is one thing you do and will never stop?
Meditation. Absolutely. Like non-negotiable in my every single day life.
Love that. So powerful. And if people want to know more about you and want to connect with you and also like obviously want to look into your retreats, where can they find you? And of course, I will leave all the details in the description box below.
My website and all my social media is Ania Halama, my name. I make it very simple, nothing crazy. And then our retreat center is Mahadevi Ayahuasca Center.
Perfect. And is there anything else that you feel right now that wants to move through you, that you want to share? Anything that you feel like you feel called to share right now in this moment for anybody who's listening?
Yeah, so we do also have a free ayahuasca course on our website. If you just go to our website and then go to ayahuasca framework, it's about 90 minutes long. It's free. And we go into real ayahuasca, fake ayahuasca, the lineage we work with, my first experience. It's very juicy, very well produced, like very proud of this course. So if you're interested in ayahuasca, and at the end, there is an assessment as well to see if you're ready, if it's something you might want to journey with.
Amazing. Like, that's a good thing to know. I didn't know that. So I will dive into that and check this out. So yeah, thank you. That was beautiful, powerful. Thank you so much for sharing your energy, Ania. And thank you so much for doing what you're doing and bringing the light to the world. And it was amazing to have you on. And thank you guys for tuning in again. If you have any questions, of course, drop any comments below. We're happy to answer. If you want to get in touch with Ania directly, you will see the details below. And also, if you want to get in touch with myself, you know where to find me. And thank you so much. Until next time, I love you. Bye.
Thank you so much, Mia. This was fun.
Yay. Okay, I'm going to stop.
Thank you for tuning in to Din's Talk. I hope today's conversation sparked something within you. Remember, you have the power to align with your soul, take bold action, and live a life fueled by passion. Don't forget to subscribe, share with others, and leave a comment if this episode resonated with you. And as always, do it, never stop. Until next time, keep claiming your fire and your power.